got the cheat code. Lot of y'all just watching, you ain't got the cheat code. Can't stay the same, yeah, you gotta switch it up. Can't stay the same, yeah, you gotta switch it up. Game change different now, I got the cheat.
All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I am Goddess Giselle, and you are tuned into my podcast. This is episode 2, a very long-awaited episode, y'all. Life has been lifing. I know if you're watching this show, yours has probably been lifing too. So this is just a reminder to give yourself grace as you are moving into your purpose. It takes time, and it just take your time. But without further ado, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This podcast is created to really empower women, but more importantly, highlight women that are making an impact in their community. So today, I'm so excited to introduce you all to Demi Howell, who is coming to the stage. So, hey, Demi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Giselle. How are you? I'm
so good, girl. Like, honestly, I know we just got out of Leo season, and you're a Leo, I'm a Leo. So, first of all, happy belated birthday to you.
Leo season, yes. You know, we have to celebrate the whole month.
Exactly. We don't give the next zodiac was Virgo. We're in Virgo now, but still, we like to do it big all the way.
Absolutely.
So for those who don't know, let's open up a little bit about you. You know, where you from, what you do, and we'll start from there.
Okay. Well, first of all, Giselle, thank you for having me on your show. I have been super excited since you sent me this invite. So introduce myself. I am DEO. I said DEO girl. Sorry, y'all. I am CEO, Demi Howell of Demi Howell Co, which is basically a branding company, and then Demi Howell Beauty, which is my cosmetics line. I am from Huntsville, Alabama, but now I am residing in Brentwood, Tennessee. I just moved. I have been here for almost a year, so just excited about the move. The one thing I can tell you about Demi Howell Co. Demi Howell Co is basically all of my gifts and talents meshed together. We have about 4 divisions. We have the style suite, and the style suite is basically where you come in, you can get a photo shoot. I'll do your hair, your makeup, your styling. We do traditional photo shoots, but we kind of like to take our clients out of their comfort zone and give them something a little bit more creative, a little more eclectic, something that will make them look at themselves in a different light. And then we have our reputation rescue, which is basically where we come in if you're having an issue with your brand, or even if you're in a situation where you feel like you're ready to share your story. We take that information, bundle it up, and create a package for you where you can go out, you can create communities, you can write a book, because there is profits in your pain. I know that's gonna sound bad, y'all. So don't come for me. I know it's like, why do we always have to profit, off of people's pain? But that's what we do all the time. We get on this app and we like people's stories, and we share and we read books. It is the same thing. So that is one division of it. And then we have Idea Incubator, and that's basically where you come in with the idea and we strategize a plan to make this idea come to fruition. I am a serial strategist, so I look at all things inside and out and develop a good strategy for you. And then we also have virtual consultations, which is basically for clients who are looking for, hair tips, makeup tips, maybe styling tips. And then we have Design House, and that is the division where me and my husband come in and we redo your, spaces on a budget. And we make it look absolutely fabulous. So Demi Howell Co is what we recently launched, but Demi Howell Beauty, as you know, has been in this since 2009. Now, that's my baby.
Okay.
That's my cosmetics line. So that's my baby.
We have one baby that I knew of, which is Demi Howell Beauty, but now we have recently, it sounds like exploded and elevated to a whole new level. So when did you start or launch Demi Howell Co?
Well, Demi Howell Co, we just recently launched it about a month and a half ago, but it's one of those things where you do this behind the scenes all the time for so many people. So it's like, I just made a post and I was like, hey, if you are a person and people can reach out to you for advice, you have not positioned yourself correctly in that industry, in that field. So, due to my knowledge, I was like, hey, let me go ahead and launch this because I've helped several people grow brands, styling, ideas, hey, you call me with this issue. I'm like, hey, girl, or dude, bro, this how we can turn this around. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to go ahead and launch that as a business because it is a profitable business.
It is. And that is so powerful because one of the reasons I created this platform, I really wanted to shed light on women, really, because I feel like, I'm gonna lie, Demi, I feel like there's a rebrand when it comes to womanhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's kind of what I talked about in my last episode. We had a generation where, let's just say, our grandparents, you know, they didn't do too much. Like our grandmas was actually very demure. Okay.
Yes.
Very demure, very mindful. Like all these extras that we see nowadays from different walks of women, it was just unheard of when our grandma's days, right? But then we evolved. And then we went into, let's just say, the 90s woman where she was working. And girl, you know, I want you to talk a little bit about that. But like we had the 90s woman who was working, coming into the workforce, finding her way, like beauty. When I think of, first of all, when I think of Demi, I think of beauty. Okay. All things beauty, hair, makeup, all of that. And a lot of my viewers may not know a little bit about your personal story and how you kind of matriculated into the beauty space. But before we get to that, I want to first say, what do you see as the redefinition of womanhood? So we had the 60s grandma who was a certain type of woman. Then we got the 90s woman. She entered the workforce. But then we had the 2000s vixen even, right? So maybe that was the start of Instagram and modeling online and being a video vixen and just wanting to be beautiful in that regard. But women of today, I feel like we are redefining what beauty means. So Demi, what do you think beauty means today as a modern day woman?
I think women are waking up to their true value outside of what the world has told us we should be. Like, period. Like, I think that we are truly waking up to our value. You know, we are powerful. We're independent. We're entrepreneurs. We're CEOs. Yes, we are moms. We are wives. We're all of that. But at the end of the day, we are stepping into our true power because without women, nobody would exist.
Nobody would exist.
Like nobody would exist without a woman because we are birthing men and women constantly all the time. So we're in a time now, and I know that it is very, it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of people because women are like, hey, we're not just staying at home no more. Hey, look, I want to do this business. You know, hey, I want to do this. Like, and because the world has told us that we have to play this character, it is sparking a lot of uncomfortableness in the world. Yeah. But I am here for it. You know, I'm a married woman. I've been married for almost 25 years, but I am all for the woman going after her dreams, going after her goals, not sitting up under no man. Hey, I'm just going to be honest. And if you want to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I am saying for those of us who deep down have a fire for something else, go after your goals and go after your dream. Period.
Girl, thank you so much for saying that. You just made me teary-eyed because when I say women have been under a spell or even a curse or some type of energy, it's oppression. That's what it's called. And it came from the social construct, like you said, what is a woman supposed to be versus who she actually is? And if you're watching this and you have been on the fence about how you want to express yourself as a woman, we want to encourage you to do it, to be yourself. Do not do not like dim your light to be in other spaces that maybe you have outgrown or you don't belong because you are big and you are powerful. And you said you've been married for 25 years. Has marriage, the landscape of marriage from when you first got married, you could tell us the year because we're not doing the math, versus now. So like the construct of marriage itself, because I feel like that too is kind of being changing. It's evolving as well. So what do you think about that? Like how that's changed from when you started to kind of nowadays?
I think it has changed a lot for, well, let me just say for me and my situation, me and my husband have worked together side by side. So we've been entrepreneurs together from the beginning. So this kind of movement where women are coming into now, I've been in that role. So I can see the transition and I can see the uncomfortableness as it pertains to marriage from their partners, because it's like it can begin to be a competition thing, or it's more of a thing of like, well, you're supposed to be at home, you're supposed to be cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, taking care of me, and being submissive. But the landscape of that is changing.
Yes.
And women want more.
Yep.
And sometimes you have women that are in marriages that may have been married 5, 10 years, maybe 2, and they have this great awakening. And it's like, I am more than just what I'm doing. So at that time in that marriage, those two have to be able to come to some type of common ground, because if not, the relationship is they're not going to make it. Men have to be open-minded to having a powerful, independent woman that is a helpmate to them, and he is a helpmate to her. It has to be an even playing field. The years of women just being submissive, what are we submitting to? And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I'm just saying is, what are we submitting to?
Yep. Like where the rule book of what these rules are, like, in I call them foundational, like these foundational values and principles. Again, I shed light on our grandma's generation, which was a long time ago. We'll say at least 70 years ago. Then we fast forward to the 90s woman who we're starting to see shows like Who Could Play That Game. We see Vivica Fox come to the scene. We see Gabrielle Union, these different Black women. And there were so many more, but even Hillary Banks, like on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we're starting Whitley Gilbert, right? We're starting to see these different images. Even Gina off of Martin. I was saying the other day, I was like, Gina had money. Gina was not just sitting around cooking and cleaning. She was not representing that construct of womanhood and living shows like Living Single. And it's one thing to say like, okay, well, that was TV and it's different now. But we were watching it. It was kind of like subconscious programming. Yeah. And I think what has happened now, we're starting to see this extreme. And I love this conversation, Demi, because you are an OG when it comes to womanhood and wifehood. Okay. And I just want to shout you out for that. Like we have different shows now. We got Real Housewives. We got all these different reality TV shows that aren't really portraying the true light of what it takes to be committed and stay in your marriage, you know? And I feel like that's what you bring to this conversation, because 25 years, you can't go up against that, you know? And so tell me a little bit about how you deal with your own personal growth in your marriage and how you're able to continue to grow and like nurture yourself. Because I like to talk a lot about self-love. So what are some ways you continue to pour into Demi so that you show up fully for your family?
You know, Giselle, it probably wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 years ago till I even understood what self-love was. Because I was a workaholic. Okay. And in my work, I thought that the reward of the work was the self-love. But the reward of the work was stroking my ego. So it took, once I was kind of coming into that retirement phase, when I was coming to the phase where I was tired, when I was coming to the phase when I wanted to get out of that hamster wheel and that hustle culture, that's when I realized what self-love is. And self-love is just simple. It is putting yourself first. And it's not putting yourself first in a selfish way, but it's about what do I need to carry on as an individual, as a woman, for myself, then for my husband, then for my kids, then to the people who trickle down after that. But we tend to put everybody first. So we don't understand what self-love is, because for self-love is the things that we do for others, and that's not it.
It's not.
That's not it.
Girl, I promise you, that is the biggest misconception about self-love. And especially as Black women in America, we have been measured by what we do and not who we are. And
what we have.
And what we have. And I'm just like, that part of me, or that realization as I come into my own version of womanhood, I'm just like, why are we only measured by our external success when other races of women, they don't have to do nothing but exist or just be.
Yeah.
And then they get all, and I don't want to sound like whatever, but I'm speaking from my own, like as a Black woman in America, right? We try to like reach for the stars. And if those stars are harder for us to get, we kind of get harder on ourselves. But either way, we kind of like measure our success or self-worth by what we do, being the workhorse. And we even see it in politics now where we have, a presidential candidate who is a Black or, I don't know. Anyway, she's a woman who identifies as Black and other nationalities. But even then, we're seeing the same landscape play out where she has to really prove herself, and maybe still is not going to get that same level of respect or her voice being heard. But it's challenging. But what advice could you give someone who maybe who's not in a relationship, but they're trying to better their relationship with themselves? Like, what is something they could do right now to kind of learn how to be more loving to their self, in your opinion?
In life or more in business?
I'm gonna say in life.
I think in life, and especially now, is non-comparison. The non-comparison.
Okay.
The non-comparison, because it is so easy for us women now that we have the visibility to see everybody, not just on the digital space, but just in out in reality. The non-comparison, never compare yourself. Always find the things that you love about yourself the most. Sometimes you have to just sit in your quiet space. Don't look at a phone, don't look at TV, don't look at nothing, and look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself about the things that you absolutely love about yourself.
Yes.
And let that trickle, let that energy, let that positive energy soak into your body, into your soul, into your spirit, and speak life into yourself constantly, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel like somebody looks better than you, even if you just feel like you're not where you're supposed to be in life. Because at the end of the day, everybody's journey is different, but you have to stick true to your journey, and you have to take those lessons you learned from the past and reinvent yourself. But be true to yourself and just love yourself. Never compare yourself to anybody.
Thank you so much for that. Girl, if somebody would tell me that 10 years ago, I probably would have been got off these different platforms trying to show up in a way that maybe isn't authentic, right? Yeah. And I feel like before 2020, social media was, a space where everybody was just trying to put on, like, let's get put on your content. But since 2020, and when the whole world and landscape changed as we know it, I think that the people are just looking for real. Like, give me the real raw truth about X, Y, and Z. Girl, I don't want to see the glam. I don't want to see I want to see the glam. I always want to see the glam. But like for others, they may not be so drawn. Like we have like Kim K, for example, right? She's the epitome of, that lifestyle of keeping up with the Kardashians. So she was showing. And then it got to a point where her audience was like, we're tired of looking at all these yachts and stuff. We want to see you being a mother or just doing your everyday thing so that we can kind of relate. And so I think that's where social is shifting to, which is like, girl, who are you and what did you do or go through and what can I learn and, give you, but also learn from you. So I think that's what has changed,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit. And I want to talk about your marriage, because earlier you was talking about how you and your husband have been in business together really since the beginning. Mm-hmm. What does that look like, first of all? And how do you balance that masculine and feminine energy within, right? So first of all, within yourself, but then also as you show up in the world and in partnership with your husband. Because that's a good conversation. And I just know that it looks different for a lot of people. Like, again, we have all these reality shows, and y'all, I'm really trying to give you the insider behind the TV, behind the actual camera. Okay. So that's conversations about. That's what this podcast is. We're going to be pulling in women who are real queens in real life, and we're going to show the other side of the game or the other side of the coin. So
Right.
Demi, talk to me a little bit about, number one, balancing that masculine and feminine energy within yourself, and then how you show up in your marriage so that you all stay balanced.
Well, first of all, me and Randy best friends.
Okay.
That is my best. So that foundational part really is the catalyst. Now, when it comes to balancing the feminine and masculine energy, I feel like for myself and women in general, I think that we are probably born more feminine, but it's the things that we deal with in life that brings that masculine energy up. And the masculine energy is actually a defense mechanism.
Mm.
You know, understand? So that masculine energy is a defense mechanism, and it could come from trauma. It could come from things in childhood. It can come from things you deal with in relationships. So when you're triggered by that, that masculine energy will show up. At that point, especially in a marriage where like me and Randy are together all the time, what is the point of entry that made you get triggered?
Okay.
What happened there? What was it? Like, what did he say? Or what happened? So in that balancing moment, I have to look within myself to see what was that, because the masculine energy will come out, and it's actually a defense mechanism that allows the ego to come out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times when that masculine energy shows up, it shows up as a defense mechanism because we are triggered from something that we might not even know that we're triggered from. And you got to find out where that is, because in relationships and marriage, both parties going to always bring in some type of baggage.
Something.
You're going to bring in you're going to bring in there's some type of baggage. But for me, I've always been an upfront person from the beginning. I've never, held my tongue. I'm like, hey, I don't like this, or maybe we should do this way. I've never been I've never been a soft-spoken person. I've always just been like, hey, because you don't want that stuff to fester.
Yep, you don't.
Want that to fester. You don't want it to build up, and then you got this entire big blow up that didn't even have to go that way, because you just could have communicated the way that you felt and let your partner give their advice or give them their opinion. But at the end of the day, balancing the feminine and masculine energy is about finding the point of entry that whatever the situation was made you trigger, and you had to get more masculine because, hey, you know what I'm saying? I can't be soft right now. I gotta have this. I gotta be a little bit masculine because I don't feel safe in the moment.
Right. And I mean, that's a mouthful. Thank you for sharing that. Because honestly, that is something I see on the digital landscape with conversation. Obviously, that's just been to me, it's been like an ongoing conversation pretty much since we was in the pandemic. So since 2020, we have this ongoing conversation about really the feminine and masculine energies in our communities, across communities, and the redefinition of gender or gender roles, or just what does it look like today versus what it looked like then. And I think this is an age-old conversation. I don't think it's anything new. I feel like, because it's nothing new, is it? We just got light on it, but this is nothing new. I feel like we've been talking about this, or the culture or whatever, been talking about it for generations, And I agree with you. I think that's a great point. It's a trigger. So if you're being triggered, then you got to pin in or pinpoint what is triggering you, and then actually talk about it.
Yep.
Okay, that's real, because I ain't gonna lie, when I keep talking about 2020, but when it happened, I saw how the world had changed so quickly. I mean, I was in my soft life era. Okay, that was when I feel like I got hit upside the head by the spirit energy, and it just literally hit me upside the head. Like, girl, go sit down. And not only did I get hit upside the head, I feel like the whole planet did. Like, the planet got shook. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Then we stopped. Everybody was like, oh, we don't need to be going to work every day, 8 to 5, and then come home and then try to feed your kids, and then don't talk to your man, and then don't get into it with your man. Oh, you don't need to do that. Oh, the kids can't just go to school and then go somewhere, and then you just get rid of them and then go ahead and do what you was doing before that you had them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't just do what you want when you want to. You can't just hop on a flight and get away from whatever you're trying to run from, right? travel got shut down. Everything was just different. And I was like, this was actually the planet herself saying, I'm feminine. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in my soft era. Okay.
Yeah.
The earth said, I'm in my soft era. So if you doing too much and you can't handle me just relaxing, the earth, then she's like, well, I guess you ain't gonna be able to hang with me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just such a beautiful chaos, really, like poetic justice, if you will. And now we're 4 years later. So 4 years have passed. Is there anything that changed in you where you were like, because I know me, I had a ton of changes, like internal changes, like looking at myself differently, changing my goals, everything just shifted. I had a personal shift. But Demi, what about you? Was there anything that you came up out of 2020 and you have a different mindset or different? Well, I know you got a different location, right? You moved somewhere. But is there anything that stands out that kind of helped you transform or anything of that nature since 2020, like in the past 4 years?
You know, for us, the shutdown was so amazing because we together all the time and our kids homeschool. So for us to just be together, we're together anyway. It was just the fact that I wasn't having to go to the salon, we wouldn't have to go to the property. But to me, I feel like just that time to not do anything, I think it actually made us closer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much closer we're going to get. We're going to be connected at the head, at the hip sooner or later. But I think that it really, I think it just made us closer because we're used to being together all the time. But I think weirdly and oddly for us, because so many of people weren't used to being at home. So when they came out, they were different. It was kind of like, it was just very, very different. So I kind of feel like we're still kind of operating on that old timeline because it was not really of a transition for us. So it's kind of weird for us because we do like to kind of deal with people and kind of get out a little bit. But I feel like what COVID did is it made people a little bit more reserved. They're a little bit more drawn back. They're not as open as they used to be. Yeah. So, and I think we'll kind of transition a little bit out of that. I think people want to come a little bit more into human interaction. But for us, that downtime, honey, I was like, hey.
we're going to just do us.
Hey, we're going to do us. The one thing I want to go back and add in the one question you asked about marriage with the masculine and feminine energy too, Giselle, is that me and Randy submit to each other. We submit to what the end goal is. We submit to what needs to be done at the time. So it's not like, well, you the woman, I'm the man and I should be doing this, you should be doing that. What do I need to do right now to get this done? Regardless if it's something that you're normally doing, I can step in and we can make this thing happen. And it's also important to say that not only do women need to learn how to balance the feminine and masculine energy, men need to learn how to balance their feminine and masculine energy. And I think the problem comes in because the world has told them that they have to be this strong masculine figure and we got to do this and we got to do that. Baby, what you gonna need to do is balance that energy.
Yeah.
You need to get into your emotions. Yep. You need to understand who you are as a man, not what the world told you to be, but what is that emotion that you're disregarding, that you're not letting come up. And I think in relationships, and not just in relationships, but in the world, it would be better because now we're in balance.
We are. Yes.
We're in balance. We're in balance. We're in balance.
Yes. It's my aunt. The laws of my aunt suggest that it is balance. It's literally balance. It is not one over the other. It is not patriarchy. It is not matriarchal. It is the one. And I think, especially even like today, like literally in the timeline we're in right now, it's getting so hard for both parties to just release the ideas that we really had about ourselves versus now. And that's why I really value these kind of conversations. There is a movie called The Knowing. It's older. Yep. Movie. And they're really just talking about okay, when the world starts changing, you're going to start seeing synchronicities. You're going to start seeing things line up. You're going to start seeing institutions and belief systems be destroyed. You're going to start seeing things that were pillars of society just all of a sudden stop working. And I think that's where we are in the timeline. It's like everything we knew, it's kind of like we have to unknow. But Demi, that's why I love you so much, because girl, you never really gave in to the original thought ideas.
No.
And you never thought that was real in the first place. So then you didn't have to do too much adjusting. Matter of fact, you was just in your being, and it's like the world caught up with how you all were operating, right?
Yeah.
So that's honestly the keys to the game, like no cap. So for those who don't know, let's rewind back to just a 2 rundown of your career. Because I know you had a long career, but where did you get started doing and how did that evolve? And we talked about what you do now, but tell us a little bit about how you got into the game.
Where I started out doing updos in high school, all the pink girl ponytails for Johnson, Lee, and Butler, for all of y'all here on Huntsville. Yes, I was the pink girl. I was the pink girl ponytail girl and the pinup. And it just so happened that the guy I was dating, brother's wife was a stylist, and she was like, hey, you want to come be a shampoo girl? And I was like, okay, cool. Never wanted to be a stylist. I just love the creativity of what I was doing. And I just kind of stuck with it, and I became good at it. And when I came to the realization of like, hey, I want to make this my career, then I got my, licensed under apprenticeship, worked in a beautiful salon, learned from some amazing seasoned stylists. And from there, bought the old Taco Bell on University Drive, was $1 Million Road. I wanted to be on University because it had so much traffic. And that moment, the thing about it, Giselle, is it was major, but in the moment, I didn't even look at it as something necessarily major. I just looked at it as, this is what I want to do. And I did it. Yeah. And so, I started the cosmetics line. I worked with Miguel, Mazani, Amber Mag, cosmetics line, BET Awards, Sugar Mama's movie set, Dream Girls, placed 3rd in the world, the country twice. I've done
and makeup, or just glam all around, just glam squad.
Just glam all around. Used to do 20, 30, 40 heads a day in my peak time in my career. And I did it. I didn't take no vacations. When I say I did it, I did it. And it was a wonderful ride. I learned a lot of lessons along the way. Came to a lot of realizations along the way, just in business and about myself as a person and in the beauty industry. Launched the cosmetics line in 2009. But when you do something like that, it's such a high exponential level. And I started out when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
I started out when I was 14. I got in the salon when I was about 19 years old. I had a long run.
Yeah.
And it just became exhausting to me.
Yeah.
I just got really tired. The industry had changed, and it did not mirror who I was as an individual, as a stylist, and as a creative. And I just got tired. And so, I retired, but I still love beauty. I still love the industry. I still love stylists. I still go to class. I still do education because that's a part of me that will never die. And I'm never on such a level that I cannot learn from these younger stylists and even seasoned stylists. So I still have my license.
Okay. So you still, your hair is always laid anytime I see you. So, and we love the 90s. It's here now. History repeats itself. So we are in the 90s era, like the girlies, we trying to get the natural looks, the pixie cuts, like so much fashion is just back from the 90s. And I love to see it. But since we are on topic of Huntsville, this audience is actually brand new. So shout out to y'all for tuning in. Again, if you're new here, I am Goddess Giselle. You are tuned into the podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. So a lot of my audience is actually all over the place because of one of my first guests who was on a reality TV show. And, I personally love me some reality TV. Maybe not always the storylines, but I just love the drama of it all, okay? Because it just gives me life. So with that being said, one question I always get, my last castmate was a castmate. Let me speak that into existence. Look,
I know that's right. Me and you.
Exactly. We are castmates today. But my last guest was a castmate on Married to Medicine. And anytime I say, they be like, where you from? I say, I'm originally from Huntsville. They say, London, it happens every single time. Even I'm all the way here in Atlanta. I met a girl this week from New York. All I'm saying is where I'm from. Next thing you know, we're talking about a reality TV show. And I'm just like, here we go again. So Demi, first, let me ask you, were you ever a part of the show? You on the show? Because you just give glam. And I know everyone always asks me that. They be like, so why you ain't on there? You should do it. So let's just cut the cut and let's talk a little bit about reality TV. So, Demi, are you on the show? Are you affiliated? What's going on with that?
I am not on the show, girl. I am not on the show. They wanted to cast us for the show.
Okay.
And we were not with the bullshit.
Okay.
We just couldn't get with the and hear me out. I know that that's what sells in reality TV. Mm-hmm. Like I get it. But when you build a foundation in life and in business, even for a moment of fame, just to get on show for bullshit, it's not worth it. Now, that's just me personally. Now, that's just me. That's just how I feel. We were casted. We did film some scenes. That was when the editing came out, I was a little like, you know. But hey, do how you live. That's cool. Okay. But no, I am not on the show. Would I love to do reality TV? Of course, I would love to do reality because Brandy and the girls, we are so funny. We are hilarious. I'm telling you, like, everybody would just laugh all the time and they'd be like, I did not know they was this cool, because I know I give this like stoic type of like woman attitude. I'm really cool. I'm really, really cool. But, you know, the time that I did film, I did enjoy it. You know, it was really, really cool behind the scenes. But as far as the drama, wanting me to go into drama and bring up something that's literally over 10 years old, I'm not sure. I'm not doing that,
girl. Because I know a good producer, that's a producer. They doing their job right to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I feel you, and I really appreciate your response, because I know I get that question. Not me personally, but just being affiliated with Huntsville, they automatically assume that, okay, do you know them folks from the show? Are you on that show? So shout out to Huntsville if you're watching. Hey, what's up? But
shout out.
Yes, but it's really nice to hear your response. So you basically like, it ain't if it's not gonna be a light that you are true to, then you don't want the light.
Yeah, if it's not gonna be authentic, and I know that drama does sell, but I know that there's real life drama.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying what they got going on ain't real life. So y'all don't come for me. I'm not saying that what they have going on is not real life. But what I am saying is that you can have drama that is real life.
Gotcha.
Not like you want to bring me on and maybe I had this situation and you want me to talk about it from 10, 12 years ago. That's not reality for me. I'm in 2022, baby. I don't have to go back and talk about that.
And don't, and won't, period. Next topic.
Next topic. But, you know, I think that they have built a great franchise. They have a lot of fans, you know. To see Huntsville be put on the map like that, it was a great thing about a lot of like to the city, and I wish them nothing but the best.
Yes, and I have one question someone asked me, so I want to ask you. They said they used to watch the show, and the first thing they said, is Huntsville really that messy? Based on the show, what do you think? Just off that question, like, is it a true depiction of Huntsville, or is it a little over the top? Because we're from there, but you know, I feel like you've actually built a solid family brand foundation, you know, in Huntsville. So
I think it can be at times.
Yeah.
I think it can be a time when you're not in the clique.
Okay. Got that. And speaking of clique, it's a good segue to my next question. Because Demi, I think you are a queen. Obviously, you know that. And I view myself as a queen as well. One thing about a queen don't really need a group to feel validated or secure in herself. And I even heard Beyonce, love me some Beyonce, especially like Renaissance, just the whole movement of woman empowerment that she pushes and has done throughout her entire career, not just now, but since the beginning. So let's not focus on what she's doing now. Let's focus on her legacy, right? That's what queens do. Queens focus on the legacy. Whereas Pretty and just trying to make a quick check, they focus on securing a bag, right? So you got someone who focuses on securing a bag versus someone who is focused on securing her legacy. And so when I think of queens, I think of women who are focused on legacy. And Demi, talk to me a little bit about how you vet your friends or women that you allow to get close to you. And what does that look like when it comes to friendship? Because a lot of conversations been happening about sisterhood, friendship. We're talking friendship breakups. We're talking, oh, I thought we was cool, but she was a hater. Like, there's a lot of judgment on friendships right lately. So talk to me a little bit about how you vet your friends and how you maintain positive, healthy friendships with women.
I just said, why don't you ask me that question? I don't deal with nobody.
Hold on, y'all. We ain't gonna cut that. We ain't cutting it now.
And not for any particular reason, but I'm just being honest.
Okay.
I have dealt with a lot of people, and this is something that I had to work on myself. Okay, when I was growing up, I was the popular girl. Everybody loved me. I didn't have no type of hate, none of that.
Okay.
Transitioning into my adult life, I thought they was going to follow me. See, I didn't have the emotional intelligence to understand that when you become adult, you deal with adult things as it pertains to people and women. And we all women, I'm speaking for myself, we all can be catty. I have been that type of person, but I'm also the type of person that I am loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
So if I deal with you, I'm going to start you at the top first. I'm not going to let you build yourself. I'm going to start you at the top, and then I'm going to let you work your way down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I have a very, 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 very circle. And I think has been more difficult in the latter years because friendships are really just transactional. It's not even about the true friendship. It's not about the true sisterhood. It's really not even about that. It's about transactional. It's about, well, let me see what you got going on so I can get with you and maybe I can build up off of you. You know what I mean? Or let me get the tea. Like, let me see what's going on. And really and truly, we talk about sisterhood, but really truly, sometimes it's just a group of mean girls.
Yeah.
Playing.
Yep.
But when I do let somebody in my space, I love them and I love them hard. And I motivate them and I push them. And and because that is who I am. Period. Hands down, point blank, period. So you can go to anybody, female that I have dealt with, and they will tell you, she might not talk, we might not talk, but one thing I can tell you is when we did deal with each other, she always pushed me.
Exactly.
Period.
And I think I love that, Demi. And when I say that, I feel you so much because when it comes to friendship and sisterhood, I had no clue how things would change the minute I started loving on myself just a little bit more. When I started to value my own time, my own space, my own frequency, right? Yeah. I saw somebody online that said, they might not like you. They might just like your vibe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you might just have a good vibe. And so people want to be around you because of your vibe. But when you have real problems or even real wins, you can't share that in love or in faith or in trust, then that's when I was just like, dang, I thought this was real, but it's feeling like it ain't feeling real. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. So I just want to let y'all know this. I grew up, I love Real Housewives. The Real Housewives of Atlanta raised me, at least while I was in college. Like, there was a window where I was giving every Real Housewife at one point, right? Like, they just gave the energy that we needed, especially when they were in the peak of the franchise. Yeah. But what I came to find out, even me, I live in Atlanta. I'm definitely very much so giving Atlanta a real housewife, but the girls are not really friends.
Oh.
Really friends. They're friends only on camera, or only when it's a transaction, or only when there's some kind of gain, or more specifically when the cameras are rolling. And I've been watching old episodes because I do something where I just watch old episodes of Real Housewives, like when I'm eating lunch. And I'm just like, wow, we was really thinking these girls was all so friendly and cool. Yeah. And, they would go to each other's house for tea and talk, and just this very dainty, feminine, Southern feminine lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I tell you here, me personally, I moved to Atlanta. I've been here for many years. I'm grounded here. I'm rooted here now. I'm married here. And when I tell you, it has been so hard to just meet and connect with real women who are on a similar path, who are focused and who are in their purpose, right? So focus and purpose. And I feel like now that we're in an age of Aquarius, which is what we've been talking about, really, this new earth, this new concept of earth, we can't be cool because we was in school together. That's not enough reason, right? Because we was in school because we had to be there. We didn't choose what school we went to. We were kind of in a construct, And so now that everything is different, because remember we talked about how things have just changed. Yeah. You got to have a little more intention with your friendships and with your connections. And so I want to encourage if you're watching this and you're feeling alone, or you're feeling maybe isolated in your own journey, know that that's a part of the process. And Demi, can you shed light a little bit on isolation during your success? Like, because I know, Demi, personally, that y'all a nice good Bentley once upon a time. I don't know if y'all still got it, but these were some black folks in Huntsville, Alabama now.
Girl, listen. Girl, the Bentley was...
It was an era. Was it the Bentley era?
But why are you following me home? Why are you taking pictures of my tag?
What?
Why are you videoing me while I'm driving this car?
Girl, because we're trying to see. We're trying to see a black woman in a Bentley.
I'm like, again, for me, it was just something I wanted. I worked for it and I got it. But I know for somebody on the outside looking in, it was like, whoa, like it was major. But for me, it wasn't major, Giselle.
It wasn't even our big deal.
It just wasn't. It was like a conquest. It was like I wanted it and I got it.
And you brought it to fruition, and then it was the next episode.
And it was the next episode.
But see, it just been, that ain't how we think as black folk,
Yeah, I was like, okay, but I was like, hey.
Listen, but it's still like really cool. Like I said, the images are very powerful. Yeah. So so that was an era for you, you and your family. But you were saying earlier, like you vet them, but the folks that you really close with, you keep them close. And when it comes to kind of like the light, so really just being yourself, have you ever had like struggled with keeping your lights on? But what I mean by that is like maybe because your environment can impact your growth. And so sometimes, like I said earlier, I moved to Atlanta. I have grown so much, but it's because I've been in isolation. I've been away from distractions. I've been in an unfamiliar territory. And it's really been requiring me to dig in deeper to myself so I can continue to grow and evolve. But Demi, talk to me a little bit about how your environment can impact your success and what you think about that.
Isolation for me, what people don't know about me is I am an introvert. Mm-hmm. But I can be an extrovert for a purpose, but for the most part, I'm an introvert because I'm a big observer. And the one thing I can tell you about isolation when you don't have distractions is that you see clearly. You see more clearly. You can see through people. You can see through the bullshit. I don't even know if I can cuss on this podcast, girl.
You can cuss, girl. You're going to just be yourself.
You can see through the bullshit because you don't have all of the distraction. Mm-hmm. So the isolation can be a very lonely space. I can tell you that it can be a lonely space, but in the long run, it will definitely be a benefit for you.
Yes.
Now you can't be so isolated that you're not out, you're not having that human interaction. But for the most part, I like my quiet time, my quiet space so that I can think.
Mm.
So that I can think clearly, so that I know that I can see my next move. I can strategize my next move. But if I'm not in isolation, I'm constantly here. It's chaos.
Yeah.
So I've always been that person. I want to add something else, Giselle. Can we go back to the sisterhood thing?
Yes.
Let me just add this. I know we got to go. Let me just add this. Now, we talked about women kind of coming into the role of being independent and powerful. Now, here's the difference. When we weren't in that position, we tended to have more of a sisterhood because we had to support each other, because we weren't in the space of like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to be a boss, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be there. But it seems like now that we are coming into this space, we don't have that sisterhood anymore. Now we are independent and we bosses and we entrepreneurs and we getting it and we being true and we saying, hey, I'm more than just staying at home and I'm more than staying this, and the third. But where is the sisterhood?
Right.
So we got to, even though we're coming to our own, we're coming to our independence and we're coming to this feminine age and we're coming out of the space of where the world told us we had to be. Part of that sisterhood that we had when we were suppressed because we had to lean on each other a lot, we got to bring that over into this space. We need that in this space.
We do. And we need it now more than ever. And it's been hard. Even after the 2020, it was hard then. And I feel like that's when a lot of relationships and friendships were tested the most, because it's like, can you withstand this personal, because we're going on our personal journeys, but then also, is your bond strong enough to withstand what we're enduring as a planet?
Yeah.
Whole world now, because it wasn't just America. And if it wasn't strong enough, what can we do better, to your point, so that in the future, when we're building these friendships and these relationships, they have a stronger foundation?
Absolutely.
And that's where we are now. Okay. That's the part of the game we're in now. We're calling it like true sisterhood, true foundation, true story, like real life, real love, real sisterhood, real story. And it boils down to the community and the company that you keep. So if you are on a journey, be patient with yourself and know that we are all currently looking for our tribe. Not only for we're hoping to manifest it, right? Because as the feminine, the divine feminine, all you gotta do is ask and you shall receive. So you don't have to go look for it. So if you out here networking, I'm talking about like going to places, like I'm gonna go to this event, that's the wrong way to do it. Okay. Things have changed. We cannot just go to an event, meet somebody, and think y'all gonna be friends forever. Okay. Right. Heads up, y'all, things have changed. We're in a new world. The new world, if you have to have something in common, okay, outside of your gender and your race.
Yep.
Not enough. Because believe it or not, half the gender and the race, half of us have healed. So we're on a whole different frequency.
Timeline.
We're still fighting their lower self, their own personal demons, their own trauma. They're still fighting and trying to heal themselves. So you got two different people showing up to parties all the time.
Yep.
And you got to know who you are and how you're showing up. So rule number one, if you out here, especially to my younger girls, Gen Z, the girls in high school and in college, don't feel pressured to be someone's friend because y'all met in past. Okay. He or she, because obviously you can have male friends, you all need to have something in common beyond the construct that y'all met in. So just y'all go to college together and y'all are roommates, y'all do not have to be best friends forever. Okay. That is a construct that is currently being destroyed because it wasn't real. Okay. What's real is if you are a girl who likes to plant, maybe you like to garden, maybe you love makeup. Maybe you don't do makeup, but you love makeup. Well, you might want to hang out with girls who are a little more vain. Maybe they like makeup too, and they're into the beauty and makeup industry. But at the same time, maybe you like rock music. You're an alt black girl, and you like rock music, right? Not rap, but rock. And so then find your craft. Tizo Touchdown, he's like a all artist coming up. Find your tribe based off what you like, which goes back to self-love. Okay. It's all about loving yourself. When you love yourself, you'll be able to find yourself. And as you find yourself, you'll be able to attract other people who kind of on a similar frequency, similar wave, similar vibration as you. Okay. Because y'all, the things have already changed. We can't even say it's changing. It has already changed.
Yes.
And I'm so happy, Demi, that you have been on this journey, or really your whole life, honestly. Yeah. But let's say in marriage, 25 years, in career, in industry since 14. Girl, that remind me of Monica and Candy. Because they was out here since teenage years.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so, I ain't gonna lie, Candy is another one who I just get so inspired by her. I'm watching Are We There Yet? Again, random reruns, because I got a free Roku TV from a brand, whatever. And so I got a Roku TV, and sometimes it be having like a syndicated TV. Candy was just on this episode randomly. This was a show from like 2006, 2005. Then I saw Candy on her first season of Housewives, where she was trying to get into acting, right? She's like, I'm going to do theater. I've always been an actress. I love acting. I mean, I got popping for music when I was in high school, kind of like you got popping with beauty when you was in high school. But she's like, I'm an actress too. And now Candy is a star of one of the biggest shows in the culture today. And fun fact, she's the longest standing cast member of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She gave them 14 seasons of her and her family. And do you think Candy done sat down somewhere? No. She cashed that check and kept it moving.
She kept it moving, baby. She kept it moving.
She don't let them age her. She did not try to be fine with them girls. She don't care. She continues to go up. And that's what I love about her, her womanhood, how she embraces it. Girl, don't let age, time, none of that. She's on tour. What you mean?
Legacy.
That is a queen. Legacy. She is a legacy. And I don't care how many girls, like, we got the Kenya Moore. Like, I love all of them. But I'm just saying, she's like, I'm a queen. But baby girl, the proof is in the pudding. Because Candy has stayed in her family. She's going up for the family. She's working so that other people can eat, not just her, but her mama, her auntie, her whoever. And those are goals, okay? Yes. So let's just stay encouraged and like keep that frequency up. Like, and I love Demi how you was like, I'm retired from beauty, but I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, keep it up, keep going up. Do not let anyone or anything make you feel like, okay, I'm done. You're not done. You just getting started. You know what I'm saying?
The second act. It's the second act.
Period.
It's the second act.
And that's the story, y'all. So don't think that just because you are whatever you are, if you have the willpower and you have it in your heart, you can bring anything to reality. You can make your dream your reality. And if you make a dream your reality, you can start up another dream, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to wait for someone to give you permission to keep dreaming. And we can do that at any age. And that's what I love about womanhood. And it's just so colorful. We just keep over time and we just get better with time, And so with that being said, Demi, we'll talk for the rest of the night.
I know. It'll be like 3 or 4 hours. So
Exactly. But listen, before we leave, I want you to share, because I'm all about beauty. You are too, but really just like wanting women to feel beautiful and comfortable in their skin, because I'm really about empowerment. I'm not just saying it. So like, give me 1 or 2 tips, beauty tips. Like, listen, you need to do this and that to feel beautiful. It could be makeup. It could be body, working out, whatever you think, drinking water, whatever you say. But give us 2 tips, beauty tips that just can keep you feeling beautiful or like help you feel beautiful all the time.
Drinking water.
Okay.
That's the first one, drinking water, because drinking water is going to replenish. It's going to replenish your body. It's going to help your skin. It's going to help your organs. Drink your water and exercise.
Exercise.
And I know that's kind of like out of the beauty range of like makeup, but those two things, when I say exercise, it could be yoga, it could be Pilates, it could just be walking, but get the exercise so that you can get the toxins out of your body, so that you can feel beautiful, so that you can feel light, so that you can feel enlightened, so that you can feel empowered, and drink your water.
Okay.
Drink your water.
Okay. That's all. That's it. That's it. And I'll throw another one in there. I'm going to say to express yourself.
Boom.
It don't matter how. It don't matter if you painting, if you writing, if you dancing. You could get up and start twerking in the comfort of your own home. But learn how to express yourself, because that's going to help you continue to grow and stay inspired. Because you're not going to always feel inspired. Like this has been my most uninspired year ever, because I've been doing a lot of shadow work. I've been doing a lot of introspective work on myself. I decided that the energy I was trying to give to others, I needed it for myself. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got to figure out ways to express yourself so that you can get to know yourself.
Absolutely.
That'll just help you feel better about yourself overall. And we are all about that. So Demi, before we go, and I'm going to have all your information in the bottom, but how can people reach you? How can we shop Demi Howell Beauty Cosmetics? Okay, don't play with me. They right here. And we're going to have some links down here. But how can we get involved? How can we support the companies?
Let me just, I know we got to get off. And we got to go with
talking, girl.
I'm about to I'm just about just a little, we got something new. Just going to be part of the new correction.
Please. Ooh. Now, what are we looking at? Look, is this fall lip?
Yes, these are our matte lip, which is a semi-matte lipstick.
Ooh.
And that's it.
I love that.
I just that sneak peek to say, I'm gonna send you the whole. I have so much coming. I'm gonna send you the whole gauntlet of everything.
I can't wait to see it. Let me get into the packaging one more second. Could you please pull it up? It's very demure. Okay. Shout out to Jules LeBron.
Yes,
make sure y'all go follow her. We supporting. Look at the material. Yes. So this is Demi Howell Beauty. Owned and operated, family owned and operated cosmetics line. Beautiful. I know that go on real nice and thick.
Real nice, thick and creamy. And like I said, it's a semi-matte. So it's, yeah. Okay. I mean, girl, I'm working behind the scenes. So yes, I had to, just that little sneak peek,
Okay.
But yes, Demi Howell Beauty, you can find us at houseofhowell.com, HAUSOFHOWELL.com. All of our products are there. And of course, you can go to DemiHowell.com to see Demi Howell Co. and what we have to offer.
Yes. Thank you so much, Demi, for your energy, for your time, for your wisdom. And like I said, I know Demi, the beauty is what we see, but there's so much more behind the beauty. And that's really what I want to talk about today. And again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate the conversation and the sisterhood and the friendship. Okay. Yes. And so thank you for tuning in to the second episode of the Goddess Giselle podcast. I'm Goddess Giselle and I'm signing out. See you next time.